available through the Sega channel. And I think
it's like a direct-to-video release that went to like a laundromat.
Right. And I think
but Mega Man: The Wily Wars and Pulse Man and other stuff were also only released in Sega channel.
Pulse Man came out in the US on
Sega channel.
I did not know that.
That means that there's more of a chance of us getting it.
Yeah, that is good.
Well, I mean, with Golden Axe 3 coming out, I'd say there's more than a chance. It's probably just going to come out.
Yeah, but of course Nintendo won't take the time to say, here's why you should care about Pulse Man. It's made by the creators of Pokemon.
Right.
Because they don't know how to market virtual console games. They send me an email a week after the games come out and say, here's this week's here's this week's Wii virtual console releases. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, no, those are actually last week's, and I've already downloaded this week's new batch.
Oh, really?
They're kind of pokey.
You get the email a week late? I get the email when it comes out.
No.
Oh.
Like, I had already downloaded this week's games, and I got an announcement about Ninja Gaiden 2.
Wow.
It's like, maybe they meant Jaja Maru-kun.
No.
Does kind of sound like Gaiden 2. No, it really doesn't.
I think maybe you just have the worst relationship with Nintendo that I do, that they just put you on, like, the week-late email list.
Oh, I'm press, so of course I have a terrible relationship with Nintendo.
Right. Well,
but you actually criticize their releases.
That's true. I'm not a true Nintendo fan because I don't happily gulp anything they crap my way.
I rip into whenever I see them. They're like, "Yeah, what's your problem with Virtual Console this week, Chris?"
Yeah,
which is getting less and less though, because I like the import thing. I mean, maybe not Judge.
I do like how they go straight to the bottom of the barrel, though. I mean, seriously, fucking Golden Axe 3.
Yeah. Golden Axe 3. I think also
I like Golden Axe. I love beat 'em ups, but I don't give two shits about most of the straight to Genesis stuff.
Yeah, well, Golden Axe was good in the arcade. It was fun. Like, I played the Xbox Live version, and it's still okay. But the Genesis version was not so great. Golden Axe 2 was a little better, but still not great. Golden Axe 3, I don't know what it is, because it's like such a basic, simple formula, but it's not fun. Like, it's worse somehow than the other two games.
The interesting thing about this week is that even though
like Streets of Rage
there's a Sega Channel game for the first time, there's another import game, I think it's like the week that breaks their really long streak of decent releases for Virtual Console. Like, this week, it finally kind of like falls apart.
Was it 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago that Neo Geo debuted on the system? Like, it's awesome that Neo Geo games are available, but the games that they started out with are not that awesome. I mean, it's
what have they done?
Fatal Fury, Art of Fighting,
right.
And what was the other one?
Magician Lord?
Mm-hmm. No, World Heroes.
Oh,
all of which were like their very first fighting games that they made.
Right.
SNK makes really fantastic fighting games.
Well, they're doing like their early batch of games, though. There was still like Magician Lord, Nom. Those were all fairly
They've
early.
only done the fighting games so far. I've played Magician Lord in Tokyo at Tokyo Game Show, but it's not out in America yet. So it was like a week where we just had 3 Neo Geo first generation fighting games, which was expensive and not really that fun.
I do have to say one thing about Magician Lord. It's fantastic. I love the music. I love the graphics. The level design is garbage.
Well, it's your basic arcade side scrolling brawler from that area, which is to say it's not fun.
Except no, there's shit like you could explore this massive fucking level, or you can go immediately through the door right above you, and that's the end. It makes no goddamn sense. It seems very random.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Black Tiger by Capcom for arcade, which was kind of...
that was the one that was like Magic Sword, wasn't it?
No, you've got one guy with a chain, and he like whips, and you can get like power-ups so that you shoot knives. You don't remember Black Tiger?
Black Tiger, it was like Magic Sword, wasn't it?
A little bit, except you didn't have a guy who walked around with you, and the level design was more open. It wasn't so much like going down corridors.
But it was the same kind of thing. I don't know. I guess. I think I've played it, yeah.
I couldn't even... I'm sure they're going to release Magician Lord here in the U.S. in due time, and Samurai Showdown, which is already out in Japan, and Blues Journey, which is out in Japan today.
Yeah, the Samurai Showdown I will definitely pick up.
Yeah, that was great. But the problem is it's still the same old issue again, and I just was talking to Perrin Kaplan about this in that last interview, and she used the metaphor, sometimes if you put too much stuff in your refrigerator, you have to take some out before you can put more in again. I couldn't download Ninja Jaja Maru-kun without deleting some stuff off. I have reached total saturation point.
I download every game every week to review.
Right.
And
I'm so sorry.
I've long since had to delete
expensing this shit?
Right.
Yes.
Good.
I've started expensing it. Actually, there's a funny story about this. I decided the best thing to do would just be to buy point cards, and I decided to get them from Amazon because no tax, no shipping fees.
Right.
Like, I get them very conveniently. But Amazon will not let me put more than one Wii point card in my basket at a time. It's very bizarre. So I had to place a bunch of individual orders, and then it wouldn't let me combine them. So I got a stack of $20 cards. I'm not kidding. It was at least 1.5 feet high on my desk. For 6 cards.
Right.
And there can't be much profit on these $20 cards because they have to cost like about $20 because that's their actual. It's like monetary value. So how does Amazon.com stay in business when it's not charging taxes or shipping or anything, and sending me each of these individual packages by UPS 2-day?
Right.
What? What? Anyway, but no, I've long since familiarized myself with the frustration of having to clear off your virtual console space because it's a freaking 500 megabytes.
How much space do the Neo Geo games take up?
They're actually not that hefty. I mean, they're
about
big, but they're not as big as N64 games actually.
Right.
Like Neo Geo's thing, the whole thing with that was that they like to brag about how big their games were, but that's because they didn't compress the data at all. Like they were intentionally inefficient so that they could say, this is 128 megabytes. Right. Fantastic. And that way people felt like they were getting a lot